What that one? That's before Father's Day. Well, fantastic. You going?
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin It podcast. Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Just trying to find a way to keep myself at peace until we get to Thursday or Wednesday, rather. So,
Okay, hey, man. Look, Andre, how you doing, man? Before I say that.
I mean, I'm in a good mood, even though I'm not going to have the console when I would like, but I'm in a good mood.
What? See, y'all should have said something because I knew Jay's situation. I would have been a little bit more empathetic about this shit.
Well, because like I said, and I said this yesterday on that live stream I did. Like, dude, I'm not upset. I'm just like, okay, what was the criteria? Because the criteria that they said, they ain't no way in the world you're gonna tell me 6 years. They put how much time you got on there when every time you log in. So you're not gonna tell me that I shouldn't have got an invite unless you just didn't have that many to do for the U.S. because of the whole tariff situation, which could be the case. I don't know. But the other thing too is, how I don't understand how they go about doing stuff, because you're like, okay, if you're telling people to register on your site if they NSO users, why did they not go first before your partners did? But that's just them. That's
I think that was one of the
question I have.
Of like, why in the world didn't you go before the retailers? But
the thing is, I think that they had planned on that, but then the whole tariff flip around made them
possibly
revise it.
Yeah,
but once again, it's like, okay, yeah, but you told people to do it when you did the actual day presentation. Yeah, I did it then. I did that registration right then. So I'm sitting here like, okay, so because the same thing happened when they did that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 pre-order situation, where they were like, oh, it's not releasing day and date, it's gonna release in October. I'm like, well, if it's gonna release in October, why didn't you just take orders? Like, why did you make it where, oh, we're only gonna put it out at this point in time, oh, it's all gone? Like, if it's not, okay. RJ, I checked because I sent it to my main email. It's tied to my main email, so that gets checked every day. The only email I got is the email saying, "Hey, we didn't put you in the first round.
Yeah,
it's gonna come later. Just when you get it, you got 72 hours." I'm like, but you let me get my GameCube controller.
Which sounds like they had quite a few of those, because I didn't see a single soul that said they didn't get one.
Yeah, and that was on what, the 13th. I got my on 13th. I was able to do that. So the only thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go when the 5th hit. I'm gonna go on and pre-order my Switch, my Pro controller, the Switch 2 Pro controller, because they did what I wanted them to do anyway, was put undercarriage buttons, because I hate clickable sticks, and I'll just let that be that. So I am going to try the Walmart Buy Me. I'm not trying that GameStop Buy Me, because there's a pretty good chance I'll get robbed. Target and Best Buy aren't really an option either, because they moved. The Best Buy that's Buy Me got moved, so they moved it to another area. But all that happened because of COVID, and they got moved to another area, and that's just too far to be driving just to go see if they got one.
Yeah.
And Target, I think we still supposed to be
Boycotting.
Yeah. Also,
yeah. Okay.
I ain't gonna be able to do that. But yeah, Walmart I am gonna try because there's a Walmart right behind. There's a Walmart not far from me, and I'll go try them because they're pretty on the up. So,
Are you near a Target at all?
No, I'm not nowhere near Target.
Oh, okay.
The Target, the Target. This funny because the Target near me is like way on the other side. It's like a 15-minute drive to get to that Target, and then on top of that, it's in a busy like intersection. I'm like, bro,
yeah.
Everybody gonna be trying. Everybody because it's a super Target, so everybody gonna be trying to.
Gotcha. Yep. That's all you had to say is super Target. That's trust me.
They gonna
I hear
hit
you
first. I'm like, yep, not doing it. Nope, the devil is a liar. So 2 places I can't go is like, well, I could probably go by GameStop, but I just don't like dealing with the folks.
To bring you
the GameStop by me is not. Look, it's just not a good environment to be around because them dudes be getting on my nerves. It's one of the ones that the manager is a Xbox fanboy and he makes me mad.
Gotcha.
So I can't go in there because me and him had already had words before. And I'm like, man, give me my stuff I pre-ordered and shut the hell up. So
hey, it sounds like I'll take mine over yours any day. Mine was just hopped up off of nose candy. She's no longer there, but she was a great time. She was a great time. She was always excited. The boys loved her.
the lady before him, she was cool. She was a true gamer. She was cool. Like she gave on everything. She could tell you stuff that I didn't even know. And I'm like, hey, I love how
that's how ours was too. I was like, where'd you get this information from? Like, hey,
that new dude
is a hell of a thing, boy. Like
that new dude, I'm like, bro, we finna have to go outside if you keep talking spicy to me like this. All because I don't. He got mad at me because I don't buy physical on Xbox. I'm like, because the games that I like are like 90 and 80 and 90 gigs and up. And
what was his issue though?
He claimed I should be supporting physical. I'm like, mug, the game ain't on the disc, bro. The game ain't even on the damn disc. It's a key. I'm like, I ain't stupid.
I got you.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, dude, just give me my stuff I paid for and shut the hell up.
He has the mindset of a collector without collecting. Gotcha.
Yeah. So one of them situations. So guys, just to let you guys know, we did make it to the 3rd round of the BIPOC Stream Awards. I did not know this. I thought we didn't.
I was getting ready to bomb on Vic. Boy.
I got my email later. Because I was like, damn, we didn't make it. Because I was checking my email, like, I know we made it this year. I know we made it this year. And I'm like, damn, we didn't make it. So last week when I said we didn't make it, apparently I was wrong because Tuesday I got the email. So we made it to the 3rd round.
He was on vacation. It was like, oh, I forgot to send this one. See?
Yeah. So we did make it to the 3rd round. Check the community tab /post tab. I will let you guys think it started today or is it tomorrow? I'll let you guys know either way when the 3rd round starts, and we'll go from there. So I've been playing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I started back because I forgot I need to go in and finish this year's playthrough. Yeah, I know I do play Ocarina of Time once a year, so I got to finish this year's playthrough. But the reason why I started back playing was because there's a rumor that they are doing a remake for Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, it's interesting, but I'm like, are y'all gonna do it like the Wii U tech demo, or y'all gonna do it like Breath of the Wild? Put it in that Breath of the Wild cell shaded aspect of it. That's why I was like, okay, it's gonna be interesting. The 3DS one, I didn't mind.
I like that one.
I think they need to add some stuff to it just to like flesh some stuff out because it was very much limited by the by the time it came out, because it was like 97, 98 was when it came out. So they're very much limited in what they could do. So now if they are doing a full-on remake, keep my dungeons the same, but you know, let's like, you know, streamline some stuff, expand on some stuff story-wise. So I've been playing that. I have Doom the Dark Ages. Y'all will be seeing some gameplay of that sometime this week. I just got to upload the first. I think I did the first hour. I think.
Okay.
I think I recorded the first hour. I got to go back and look. But I will have that up sometime this week. Also, I will have up the first a couple boss battles vids where I just show the boss battle. I'll probably do intros to that, but let the video speak for itself. So it won't be commentary. It'll just be like the actual boss battle. So there's that. Jack, what about you? What you been playing?
Fantasy Life, man.
How is
addiction. Man, that's straight addiction right there. Because it's like because it's I don't know. I don't know what I expected because I never played the 3DS version. So I was going to hold off because I was waiting for Room Factory as well. And then not to mention we got with Tamagotchi Life come around the corner too. So I was like, okay, well, let me watch some of the cozy content to see what this game is about. The moment they described it, I was like, oh, that's right up my alley. And
Vicky
so
loves that series. Vicky loves that series.
I can see why.
Yeah.
So now I will say this. While playing this game, I can see quite a bit of inspiration from Zelda. Like a lot. Like we got shrines, we got the death. We when I tell you, like it's literally called that. It's not, I'm not even okay, no, it's similar, but no, they literally have shrines in the game.
Okay.
And so, and then you have the depths, which you go into like in the first like 2 or 3 chapters. So, and you go below, and it's like right now I'm at floor 2, and I know there's going to be more floors going down. And not to mention they have what I think the level's called like Geronimo or something like that. But it's really like this big open area to where you have like the desert area, you have like a water area, you have like it's huge. But I mean it's a great game. You know, right now I have to stop myself from trying to level up every license because there's 12 licenses, and I know the ones that are kind of difficult right now to upgrade, and hopefully somebody in the chat and give some type of advice, but like the carpenter and the blacksmith seem to be like very difficult to like upgrade. But as far as like the actual combat classes such as like the magician, you know, the using the bow and arrow, the broadsword, or the sword and shield, that's pretty easy. You just go out there and fight and you call it a day. You know, but some of that other stuff is kind of difficult, but it has a lot of content. The story wise, you can tell there is a decent story there to where it intertwines both the past, present, and the future. So each, like you have like the more or less the right now, if I'm going into the present, that's my main island that I'm building up. So that way you can kind of craft in that area and build houses for your buddies that you collect over time, called the strangerlings that you have to reactivate. But then you go to the past, and that's where a lot of stuff pops off in the beginning. And I haven't gotten to like the future portion of it, but it's like it's a very, very good game for, you know, something that just came out that I didn't even have my eyes on. And the Switch 2 version, getting that upgrade for $2.50 is amazing. So
isn't it funny how like Tears of the Kingdom comes out and people hate on it and trash it,
man,
but every other game is using the depths now.
Yeah, every game is using the freaking depths at this point. Like it's crazy. I'm waiting for what's that game called? Ocean Horn to get another version, and it has the depths. That's literally Zelda right there. So
I enjoyed Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
I do think Breath of the Wild is a little bit better just because they did it first. So I do understand some. I understand some of the complaints or gripes, I can say, but I still think it's a great game. I still think it's like a very high 10 out of 10 because like you just don't do the stuff that they can do in that game. I'm sorry, like you can sit up and say Banjo Kazooie. I'm like, it ain't like that.
No,
I'm sorry, it's just not. You lying to yourself if you think it is. But
it's not even close. And the only people that were making that comparison, they did it with their eyes. They didn't play.
Yeah, they didn't play the game because I'm like, bro, I done made 2 tanks and I'm working on my X-wing. So,
and they about to save me all the headache. All I gotta do is
because all I gotta do. Wait till that when Zelda notes hit, bro. All I'm be doing. Thank you,
right?
You're mine. thank you. Yep. You about to die, bro. I'm about to finish this side quest real quick.
Yep.
So, yeah. There's that. So I guess we'll wait for Andre to get back and ask him. But first topic up tonight is I know y'all heard about EA once again in the news, and not for a good reason. They canceled their Black Panther game. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they talked about that. I want to say 2020 or 2021.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know they were working on one.
I remember they were working on it because it came out around the same time they were talking about the whole Iron Man game, and it was another game they was talking about at the time. That's why I want to say it was either 2020 or 2021. And it was Marvel and EA. They were happy about it, and it was a new studio that was going to be doing it. And now last week they canceled the Black Panther game, and they closed down Cliffhanger Games, the studio that was doing it. So here's the thing. Look, first of all, it was a brand new studio, so I was like, "Hey, I hope they're not going to do what I think they're going to do and make this junk go over budget because they don't know what they're doing."
Right.
And two, what were they trying to do? Were they trying to do an open world Wakanda, or when you shouldn't have done that, you should have just made an action game? Your first game don't need to be ginormous. Your first game needs to be just a straight up action game. You're a brand new studio. You don't need to try to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to have no grand vision. You just need to do Devil May Cry, Bayonetta with Black Panther. That's what you need to do. You don't need to do nothing crazy.
Right.
You don't. Like, you don't need to do nothing that's going to cause your budget to balloon. I don't. Of course, the article that I read didn't say anything, didn't say why.
Yeah.
But I'm like, bruh, don't try to. No. Black Panther, just like a Captain America, should be an action game. That's it. That's it. There's nothing. It should be like a 20 to 30 hour at most action game. That's it. You don't need to do nothing crazy. You just don't. Put some collectibles in it to make it replay, give some replay value. You don't need online. You don't need no leaderboard. You don't need nothing like that. It just needs to be a straight up single player action game. That's it. It's not rocket science. So at this point, I'm like, why did they get canceled? Because to me, it's probably because they either A, went over budget, which that's what a lot of things are happening now, or B, they just didn't have nothing to show, and EA was like, man, we can't keep funding this.
Right.
We just can't.
But it's like, so my question is, how in the world does EA keep getting their hands on these games?
It's their name. Once you got name recognition, you can do that. And but my thing is, if you got the name recognition, why are you handing that off to a brand new studio you just created that you're not going to let them have the time to do it. You give that to your A team. You don't give that to no team you just cobbled together. I don't care if they worked on Halo, Zelda, God of War, and Bayonetta. If you got members from those teams, if that's a brand new studio, you don't give them that. You give that to your A team that's been together for 10 plus years.
Now, if they want to assist on the side, sure, let them help, but they should not be the primary. No.
So that's the thing. Like, and I got this from PureXbox.com, and they didn't say why it was. They just said EA canceled it as they want to sharpen focus on its lineup.
So I'm trying to think, based off of what we know, what is EA's lineup outside of sports?
Some of them know. Sorry.
I'm trying to think, outside of sports, what's their lineup?
That's the only thing they got to sell, because they spurred all the other studios.
Let me take a look, because I don't want to speak from an ignorant standpoint. Let me see.
Because right now they have because right now college football is supposed to drop in July. Madden drops in August. I don't think they don't have live anymore.
Well, they keep claiming that they're playing that they're preparing for it, but ain't nobody seen it.
Yeah, and I think and they still have Star Wars license.
Okay, so I'm looking at what they currently have as far as their latest is concerned. Taking all of the sports out. Sims, Tales of Kinzara, Dragon Age,
and that didn't say
Split Fiction.
Yeah, Dragon Age didn't sell well, by the way.
So my thing is like I don't even count Mass Effect Dark Void. I feel like they ain't gonna do nothing with Mass Effect.
Nah, they just have the license. That's all.
Yeah, no, Mass Effect. They got a Mass Effect game in development.
Yeah, which one though? Because Andromeda
follow up to the trilogy.
Because Andromeda did not make them no money.
No, they're not doing Andromeda. They go on back.
No. Yeah, I remember them saying that they were working on one coming up, but I can imagine how far out that is.
Yeah,
probably another 1.5 to 2 years.
Which means we'll get the trailer for it this summer.
I wouldn't be surprised if we did, honestly, because they've been showing off. They did show off little different trailers to kind of show that some of the characters were still around.
Mm.
They're trying to obscure the main character because they don't want to tell you it's Shepard or not.
Shepard. It's Shepard.
Yeah,
this would be a Halo situation all over again. They do that with Guardians. Don't do that.
Yeah,
just don't even play that game.
Because based off of their coming soon, yeah, they have College Football 26 July 10th. They have Madden 26 August 14th. They have Star Wars Zero Company. Never heard of that. Just is coming soon. It's a strategy game, and then they have Plants vs Zombies 3. That's coming soon.
That might sell.
That's definitely gonna sell. Yeah.
Plants vs Zombies gonna sell. But
based off the art, because it's the mobile. This is the mobile version because I don't think the console one did all that well. Like a lot of people just didn't vibe.
They waited too late.
Yeah,
they waited too late to do it. They might put it on Game Pass.
Yeah,
because they have success on Game Pass.
Yeah, be smart.
Yeah. So,
but even though the games that you all are listing, which is true, you know, whether we're talking about Skate or Mass Effect, they're not even mentioning any of those games on their own website. So it's like, to me, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. So it is what it is. Andre, you were gone when we asked, but what are you playing?
Oh, I've been playing Fight and Rage. I was playing earlier Nintendo Switch Sports. My first run through the 3-point competition, I got 25 points.
Yeah.
Then I just kept going until I hit the full 30. I was like, hey, no way, I'm starting off this close to the top, and I'm not going.
I think the first time I did, I only got 20. I barely made it to 20. My shot was off that day.
Your shot was off.
I had to put my Vince Carter jersey on. You know what I'm saying? Had to get it right.
So I was playing Fight Rage. Played that, and there was one other game I played. What was it? Oh yeah, no, The Evil Within, because I was playing that earlier.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah. I don't know how y'all do it.
The only horror game I actually really want to play again is Eternal Darkness: Sanity's Requiem. That's the only one I really want to play.
I get the feeling that's going to drop on in there. So
I'm kind of tired of like the Resident Evil just because I think that Capcom just goes back to it too much, and the other ones don't really
goes to it too much, and then they don't change up enough about it.
Yeah,
you go back to it.
Yeah, so it is what it is. So since Thursday is gonna be here before you know it, and I know a lot of people took off from work.
Yep.
And I'm. Like I said, I'm happy for the people that were able to secure one. If you are going out at midnight, please be safe. People, don't park by yourself at the other end of the parking lot. Don't do that. Just don't. Don't even put yourself in that situation. Park as close as you can. Make sure it's the lighted area and all that good stuff. Pay attention to your surroundings, please, people. I can't stress that enough. Pay attention to your surroundings at all times. But I hope y'all be safe. Y'all have fun. And hope y'all are able to enjoy your system when you get it. That being said, what I wanted to do is, what are some of your favorite Switch One games that you would tell somebody that you would say, hey, this is something that should be in your library for the Switch One. So Jack, I'll start with you.
So let me make sure I have the right name for it. Yeah, so it's called Splasher. It's something that came out really early in the life of the Switch One. Currently right now, let me see what it's priced at $14.99 on the eShop. I believe it's a digital only game, so you can't go and find it physical. but it gives off the vibes of Splatoon because the whole premise around it is to paint in a way, but it's also a platformer in a way to kind of navigate. So I'll kind of put it in between like Super Meat Boy and Splatoon. It's a really addictive game, but at the same time, it is something difficult too. Because I mean, when I tell you a lot of wall jumping, a lot of obstacles, and you get a few upgrades to make things a little bit more simple. Whether it's like being able to paint certain colors that'll make the floor bouncy, or certain colors to make it wall stick a little bit more. But it's a challenging game, but nonetheless, it's still a fun game. And like I said, it's $14.99. So I think that would be an amazing digital pickup. Are we only doing one?
No, you can do it however many you want.
So as I mentioned earlier, Fantasy Life, the girl that stole time, sleeper for me. Like I said, I wasn't even tracking the game. It's just it popped up on my YouTube algorithm. I was like, okay, let me just check it out. And when I checked it out, it was worth checking out. So as you know, like I currently have 20 plus hours on it right now. So I've been on that one pretty heavy. I know we already have the obvious ones. You see the chat putting them up, whether you're talking about Metroid Dread, Astral Chain, the Bayonetta games, just the exclusives in general. But I think another game that got slept on, but it did have a smaller praise, and I believe it's on sale right now, is Golf Story.
Golf Story.
The sequel was trash, but the original one, Golf Story was on point, and Geronimo just said it. So it just is on sale. So definitely take a look and go cop that if you will. I want to say I see the vision now, especially after talking to Jay and seeing some of the gameplay. Sonic Cross the Shadows Generations. Like, I love Sonic Generations. Honestly, that's my last favorite Sonic game right now. It's Sonic Generations. No slight to Frontiers, no slight to any of the other games, Superstars, none of that other stuff. But Generations is still my top Sonic game, and the fact that they're now adding Shadow on top of that, it seems like an amazing game, and that's going to be one of the other Switch 2 games I'm going to pick up. Kind of sucks that there's no upgrade path for it for those that did purchase it for the Switch, but I was one of the few that waited and didn't purchase it on the Switch, so I don't really get burnt in that situation.
That's what took on sale.
Yeah, exactly. Tiny Ken. Tiny Ken is another one. It is a platformer. I wouldn't really call it like a collectathon per se, but it's definitely a platformer. It's another indie game, and I don't think Limited Runs did a physical for it, but I will say Tiny Ken is definitely worth picking up. It is currently $25 on the eShop right now. I caught it on sale, but it's it only take what looks like 2.3 gigs of your memory at this point. So it's a very small but fun game, and it can be challenging if you're trying to 100% it. What is the name of that freaking game? Matter of fact, Andre, go ahead and go. I'm gonna grab my Switch real quick because there's one game I want to mention for sure.
Okay. I mean, I got several choices off the top of my. Look, I was going through my games. It's like before I say some names wrong, I'm just gonna look through what I got. So this one actually is something I don't think very many people actually know about being on the Switch.
Okay.
And that's the Retro Realms double feature, Halloween and Ash versus the Evil Dead. But you can't
Ash versus the Evil Dead's on there?
Yeah.
Oh, did not know that.
It's a double feature set.
Okay.
It actually came with a whole box, but I think I might have put that away somewhere. So it came with like a whole little arcade box and all this other stuff to it. My favorite from last year, Unicorn Overlord. I'm never going to not sing the praises of that game.
I wish
Unicorn Overlord.
RTSs.
Yeah.
I wish I could get in the RTS.
He went to go find. He's like, "Hold on, this is it." But yeah, obviously Xenoblade Chronicles X, which I'm still thinking that's going to get that upgrade.
Yeah, me too.
Princess Peach Showtime. I don't know why people dislike that game.
That game was awesome.
Metroid Dread, obviously,
including the the pettiness of Nintendo.
Tears of the Kingdom for me, and Breath of the Wild 2 as well. And this specifically for the Mario disc.
Yeah, the Kingdom Battle. Yep.
Specifically for the Mario disc.
Bruh, the Mario diss track is like one of the greatest things ever created, bruh. 3 acts of an operatic diss track. The operatic diss track is, dude, that was. I hadn't heard this is like that since the Great Pooh in Conquer's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah,
telling you, genius.
But I can do a quick rundown real quick.
Okay,
I won't take long. So Sea of Stars, especially with that free DLC that just dropped, and I need to play it.
Free 99, boy.
Free 99 for sure. Shakedown Hawaii, that's one that doesn't get spoken about enough. Ollie Ollie World, great skate game, especially if you're a completionist at any point in time. I'm pretty sure everybody's mentioned Metro Prime Remastered, Echoes of Wisdom, Streets of Rage 4, Unicorn Overlord, and I think the last one that I want to mention that I think gets slept on quite a bit is Wonder Boy, the Dragon's Trap.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, because that came out 2018.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah, okay, all right. For me, since y'all said most of mine, okay, I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I just did, and yes, I am a Marvel fan. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Black Order.
Yeah.
That game was off chain. I love that game. The only thing I didn't like, as y'all already know, the goddamn upgrade system don't make no damn sense. I shouldn't have to do chemical equations to damn understand how to do your shit. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have to do that. That one, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. Just like that is brawler greatness. Bladed Fury and Fighting Rage. I will say this about the Switch. They have a great variety when it comes to beat 'em ups, RPGs, action adventure games. So if you're in that realm, you're probably gonna enjoy the Switch. And plus, you can take all this on the go with you. So, RJ, I've met a lot of people who dislike it. Unfortunately, So. It's unfortunate, but I loved it. I loved the story. I loved everything they did with it. So that, and plus they got Psylocke in there and Storm for purely educational purposes.
For the science of it all.
I'm just saying. Look, sometimes I just like the artist at Team Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. I said nothing wrong. Plus, and shout outs to the people who say everything is anti-consumer. Because I do love the NSO and the expanded pack because, dude, it's good. It's good. They have my favorite stuff on there. Don't understand why they separated out the N64 stuff with the mature 17 plus and that, because I'm like,
I don't get that
all together.
I think that's just so that they could prevent people from going on and saying, well, look, they left all this stuff in. My kids have access to it.
So does the parental control stuff not apply to the NSO stuff?
I think it does. It depends because it just over your whole system. So like
that's what I thought.
I don't know why they needed it, but whatever. But you know how some people are. They just look for a reason to complain. But course. I will say the NSO is worth it, even though I said this before. I'm like, because I like the virtual console. But I understand why Nintendo did what they did because they kept getting told to have a subscription service, so they did it.
Yeah,
and then people got mad when they did it. So it's that. But yeah, those are mine. Like Astral Chain, of course. Bayonetta, of course. Xenoblade, of course. All those. Oh, and I got to say this: No More Heroes 1, 2, and 3. I played No More Heroes 3 on the Xbox, and I'm like, yeah, I prefer it on Switch. I just prefer it on Switch. I prefer it on Switch. That's just me. Do with that information what you will. But yeah, No More Heroes. Travis touchdown for Smash. Travis touchdown for Smash. Complete with all the craziness that he always does. Complete with all that craziness. But yeah, Shadow, man. What about you? What's your favorite Switch games that you would, actually recommend to people?
I got a long list, man, because I got a whole backlog.
Yeah.
I already mentioned, I mentioned my game of the year last year. Probably would be Unicorn Overload, actually. So I would highly recommend that. As far as killer apps, you just look at my playlist and you can see Streets of Rage 4. Like I happen to play it on Switch, but play it anywhere you can get it.
Yeah.
Currently, right now, I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles X, looking for some stuff and wondering why this person's trying to attack me because they're just gonna die immediately. They'll be one shot. There's there's tons of stuff on there. Astral Chain, obviously, Shin Megami Tensei. If you don't like that, get the definitive edition version, which I have the steelbook for that as well. There's a Dark Side game. There's a wealth of third-party games you can get on there. As far as first-party goes, I don't. There's no misses really. Like
as far as first party goes, the answer is always yes.
Yes. First party is always yes. Third party is can you afford it because you're paying for a cartridge and it's going to cost more. As far as like resolution and stuff like that, do you really care? Because the goal is you want to play it in your hand, right? So if you're playing it in your hand, like what compromises do you expect from that? And and being cognizant of battery life as well. Because you're like, well, the Steam Deck can you play the Steam Deck for longer than 30 minutes at a time in those settings that you're talking about? And if the answer is yes, be great. If it's not, then maybe you should buy a Switch cartridge. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you at that point. I know I can play Witcher 3 without having to change my battery out every 30 minutes.
There you go.
So, yeah, it's just one of those things. Man. Well, look at the graphics. And I'm like, but can you play it?
Right.
That's that's one of my things.
Oh, so there's two more games I think I do need to mention real quick.
Okay.
Yeast 8 and Yeast 10.
So I gotta get into those again. I gotta get into those. And there's a massive
RPGs.
effort on Switch now.
Yeah. Those two action RPGs from Nihon Falcon. If you are an action RPG fan, please pick those up. They're not as long as the Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel series. The Trails of Cold Steel series, those games are 100 hours a piece. I'm tired of them, and I like the story.
If you're a traditional RPG fan,
oh yeah, Bravely Default.
Yeah, this is Octopath Traveler 2.
Oh, Octopath Traveler, yeah.
So 2,
two's better than one, by the way.
But
two is better than one.
2 is insane, and the post game is insane too because they like. We need everybody you ever recruited for this fight. And I'm like, yeah, that's and it will give you time to cycle through everybody. So it is, yeah, man, you gotta be ready if you want to play one of those
and
old school kind of Final Fantasy type, but yeah, you gotta be on top of it.
Yeah. So I will say that if you are and you want, especially like games that look, as adults, we don't always have a whole lot of time.
Yep.
So that's why I said like Yeast 8 and Yeast 10, if you're an action RPG fan, they are not that long. As much as I like the Trails of Cold Steel series, they're just way too long. That's 100+ hours, and that's not even that's skipping a lot of the side quests.
Right.
That's skipping it. So, and I love that story, but man, y'all need to cut some of that stuff out, man. Dang, bro. Like for real, I ain't got all day, bro.
I got to get back into that series, man. It's gonna take some time, but I need to get back into them. I'm behind on those and Final Fantasy also. I gotta play like 15 and 16.
15 pissed me off, so
yeah. I gotta get on that. And then
I still need to buy Final Fantasy 10 and 10 too.
I need to do that too.
They're good.
And I keep missing the sales, but I did not know. that was just a download code in the box.
Yeah, it was
for 10 2.
10 2. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 10 is on the cart. 2 is the download.
It's not. Yeah,
that's
that's why most people just saying just get it digital because like I don't understand like because it's not like that game was like 100 gigs, so you could put both of them on the cart.
For being cheap, so when people talk about the whole game key card stuff, I'm like, bro, like y'all already went through this on Switch. Like what are we talking about? Like you buy the game and then half of the game is there. Then you got to download the rest of it. Like,
and you're doing
didn't
this
even have a cartridge because for that reason. So
and you're doing this on other platforms as well because if you check your Xbox, it says game key cards now.
Yes,
really.
Yeah.
Whole Call of Duty. Call of Duty. So,
Doom Dark Ages it says game key card. I'm like, bro,
Shut
what?
up.
And it's bad because PS4 has 100 gig disc versus the Xbox Series X, right?
Yep.
And you still got to download the rest of the game.
Yeah, because they don't put the whole game. Because look, if you complaining about $70 games and $80 games, and you gotta buy, and you want Call of Duty on physical, that's 310 gigs. How much you think you're gonna pay?
Wow.
If you gotta foot the bill for them discs.
So
how much you think you're gonna pay?
So this is an official title now, huh?
Yeah.
Like game card is the key card is an official title now.
Yes.
Wow. Because I was
I don't know why people are complaining. I'm like, it's everywhere now. And on top of that, we was you knew that going into PS5. Actually, you knew it going into PS4 and Xbox One. You knew that was happening because they straight up told you, like, especially Xbox, they were like, look, man, this disc is basically a key that says that you can play this game because you got the license to play this game. You got to download it. Sony did the same exact thing. They made people believe it was on disc and it wasn't. You still had to download and install the whole game. I'm like, then why in the world am I buying this? Why? I might as well just download the game because it ain't on there.
Right. So quick question. I have a quick question. So this has bothered me, and this is just the person in me. It's not a big deal. So this notion that we can't call the game key cards physical. Am I missing the idea of what physical is? No. I get what they're trying to say, like the game is not on there, but I'm still getting a physical cartridge. I feel like there needs to be a different name for it, but
it still fits the definition because it is still a physical retail item you buy from a retail store, brick and mortar, and it can be resold.
There you go. That because I was like, at least give it a different title because physical is still a physical copy. Like it's still something I can put in my Switch. Just because you download it doesn't make it not physical.
It's actually better than the games that just have a download code in the box.
Yeah, exactly.
I always think it's funny when people be complaining like, well, when they shut them servers down, what you gonna do? Same thing you gonna do? Because it ain't that physical thing either. So
and when they say shut the servers down, I can still re-download games on Wii right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Wii. You just can't buy them. If you already got it, you just can't buy them. Like, that's the thing. I'm like, so what are you talking about?
I don't know. I just don't. Now, granted, I don't believe. I just know they're just trying to argue just to argue. But to live in fear of something happening that hasn't happened has got to be the weirdest thing. Yeah. Like it has never bad happened.
Faith, that's why
it is. It really is. And like I said, we do understand there are games that get delisted for one reason or another, whether it's licensing or whatever. But it had nothing to do with you already purchasing it and they just jacked it from you. Like we can still download the games we own.
Like one of the games that I know that got delisted was Afro Samurai 2. But that got delisted because that game was horrible and they never did quality checks on it, and there was actually no way to actually complete the game.
Yeah, and Deadpool's another one that people have been trying to run down. Yeah, that you can't find, but
but like there are some games that like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutants in Manhattan. That game and the Transformers Devastation one that Platinum made, they got delisted just because I forgot who the publisher was. They just didn't want to fund it no more. That's why they got delisted. It wasn't like they was horrible games because I love both of them. Because I have Transformers Devastation. I still have Mutants in Manhattan on my Xbox. So yeah, but it's just they didn't want to fund it no more, so they just delisted it for whatever reason. For whatever reason they thought of. And this is, of course, this is always after they brag about generational profits.
Yeah,
I think any company that says they had record-breaking profits, but they lay people off or stop stuff should be those execs should be fired. Straight up, they should be removed from their positions.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you can't have record-breaking anything and you're laying people off. You just can't. You can't brag about having record-breaking and then you laying off 10,000 people.
Hey,
that means you ain't doing your job, bro. Your decisions suck.
I have that very situation that's very close to home with me right now, and
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna say it at the risk of my job. But
I'm just saying, that just irks me because like
I agree.
Bobby Kotick with Activision. I know people that whatever. And every time I say this, somebody comes on here and tries to get mad at me for saying it. But
Bobby Kotick and Dietrich, man, they riding out in that Ferrari together, man.
Yeah, Bobby Kotick, like people forget the whole reason why like Activision had to get sold. They was trying to get rid of that dude.
Yeah.
And people got mad because Microsoft picked it up. I'm like, bro, the only way they were going to get rid of him is if they got bought out.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to have to get bought out by somebody. I'd rather it be Microsoft than damn Tencent or Google or Apple. Y'all know what Google do when they get bored.
Yep.
Oh, man. Hey, y'all like
Google Glass? Everybody, Google Glass? Anybody find that? How's it going?
Hey, y'all like G Plus? Oh, man. Y'all do? Really?
Google Plus.
Get rid of it. Oh, Stadia? Yeah, man, we love Stadia. He's gonna be able to do stuff in 8K.
Stadia, great.
1 year later, hey man, we done with this. So
right.
So
I do need to get a controller though. I need a controller for S and Gs. I need to have it.
Like, but Google is working. Like, I just don't want to work on it no more.
Yeah, I just don't like, bro, that's all. Like when people get mad, I'm like, what did you want? What do you want them to do? Because the only way they were gonna get rid of that dude was get bought by somebody else. But Microsoft's the bad guy because they're trying to take up. Who was gonna buy it? You only got 3 companies that could actually pull it off. Who's gonna buy it?
Right.
Please explain that to me because you're not getting rid of them if you can, because Activision can't afford to pay them that severance package.
Right.
So, and that's all I'm gonna say about that because I don't want nobody to say, "Oh my God, this is not what." I'm not arguing with you, so no, we'll leave it at that. But yeah, stuff like that, yeah, that's boggles the mind. So, y'all want to know what else boggles the mind?
What you got?
The Keeleys on Friday. We got Summer Games Opening Night Live.
He really should change that title to the Keeleys.
Like, he really should. So we got Summer
Dorito
Games.
King presents.
Yeah, we got Summer Games June 6th, 5 p.m. Eastern. We will be doing a live reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the Microsoft show June 8th, 1 p.m. Eastern. We will be doing a live reaction. So this year, unlike last year, Summer Games is now being backed by Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft. Do y'all think anything's going to change? Personally, I don't. But do y'all think anything's going to change?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Because I know Nintendo ain't doing. Nintendo don't mess with him like that. So
no.
And Microsoft like, dude, we got our own building.
Nintendo will have ads. That's about it, I think.
Oh yeah, ads. And then also too, this is an opportunity for the other developers that announce their games coming to the Switch too. Yeah,
because Switch 2 released
you can do the logo now.
Yeah. They released the day before, so that's honestly I think that's the only reason why they're doing this. Mm-hmm. To be fair, because I'm like, especially after he ran his mouth last year.
Yeah,
y'all remember that when he got in his feelings and was mad.
Yeah. He always in his feelings. Like
he was like mad because none of them did.
Josephine Keeley, she stay in his feelings.
So
man, Josephine.
I'm just saying, man. Like, so I personally don't think anything's going to change. I think it's still going to get like I think Sony probably show a lot of stuff there just because he kisses up to him. Microsoft is going to do their stuff at their show, at their presentation, and I think the other reason why Microsoft's like this because that year E3 they kept showing all this stuff, and it's like, bro, this will be on our show, not yours.
Because at this point, the only thing I would have thought would be here just got announced that they're shelving it right now, and that's that Xbox handheld. So they're shelving that right now, and so really this is a third party event at this point of games that we've heard of and some games we haven't. I don't know. Like, I hope we hear about something that we are looking forward to that's still coming out this year. Because in reality, I don't think we know too much of the second half of this year. Not really.
Yeah, not really. Well, as a matter of fact, we don't really know nothing for this summer. When you think from some of these other, like, we don't really know. They only really talked about the first beginning of the year.
Yeah. So I mean, really, we're kind of scarce at that point in time because I usually go to like Games Radar because they seem to be pretty good of what's coming up. I mean, June is solely based off of the Switch 2, but it looks spooky from there. Like the only game we got listed for October are Ghost of Yotai, Pokemon Legends and this Directive 8020 game.
Dude. When you say Pokemon Legends, you gotta say Pokemon Legends ZA!
That's Zaza. That's pretty much it. And everything else is not dated at that point. So
I think people still trying to figure stuff out. And plus, like the Sonic crossover game, I'm like, bro, I think when they did that Treehouse Live for Mario Kart, that got pushed back because I thought that was going to probably come out this summer. I'm like,
that's what I told Geronimo.
Yeah, I'm like,
I was like, the way they were advertising, they let you do the beta testing, and then it went cold. I was like,
they watched that Treehouse Live and like, man, this ain't fair.
They got Horizoned. It's like they got Horizoned. It's like, oh man. But I will say, even for that particular game, even though they're in the same realm, I think there is a big enough difference now that Nintendo went the route they went.
Yeah,
it's not like a track for track thing anymore. It's now either you want to do open world or you want to go the old school route of track for track, and they're letting you go to different worlds because you now have these rings you can jump through and jump to a whole nother level, which is cool. Ratchet and Clank, that would have been cool the way you advertised it, but it's it'd be a good idea. I'm not mad at anything. It's just that's kind of how Ratchet and Clank was pitched to us, and Sonic's the one that's doing it.
I don't think Ratchet and Clank ever recovered because besides that and that movie they tried to put out.
Yeah, look, because that Ratchet and Clank is my favorite PlayStation IP. Like Ratchet and Clank is number one for me over on PlayStation side. And for them to advertise it the way that they did, that was one of the games that was like, you know what? I'm going to break my neck to try to figure out how to get a PS5. I'm not going to go the scalper route, but I'm going to try to break my neck to get one. And it took me like a month to get one. And then Target finally got them, and I was able to go get one. But once I played it, I was like, what in the hell? Like, that's not what y'all said. Like, it's not at all what you said. Like, this is false advertisement. But, Sonic's going to do it and pull it off. So I plan on getting both games regardless. But I just don't know what happened. And I know some of the beta testers were saying there are a lot of things that they needed to work on and improve still. But then I also hear a lot of people are complaining about the trick system to where on the older games, if you didn't do your tricks in a timely fashion, you could like spin out because you did it too late. Now it seems like there's no consequence of doing your tricks late. So I don't know if it was to kind of make it a little bit easier or what, because I watched a video of somebody do like 1,000 freaking tricks. And like he just kept doing it. He just kept jumping and doing tricks, getting speed boost off of it. And I guess some people are looking at it as in like, oh, it's now a mechanic to make you play better. I'm like, it doesn't look like that. Sure, whatever floats your boat. But we'll see whenever they decide they want to announce it.
Yeah, I guess. I guess that's yeah. I just don't. I don't know, man. Because I like the other Sonic racing games. They were actually good. They were fun. Like we kind of need more in that because, like, dude, everybody knows like on the N64 that Diddy Kong Racing gave Mario Kart a run for his money. I know Miyamoto was like, y'all finna actually make me be in my bag. Yeah, Miyamoto was like, Rare gonna actually make me get in my bag for this. So,
which surprised me that they didn't in turn incorporate the idea from Diddy Kong Racing, seeing as Rare was gone the following year. So it's like, well, the following generation. So I was like, man, put that to the side. Like, just put that to the side,
thing, dude. I think that was a pride thing. It's like, hell no, hell no. I did not.
I feel like we will. I feel like yeah, we have the missions and stuff. I don't think we have a story, but as far as bosses are concerned, I think the Koopalings might be the bosses, and we just haven't been told.
Cool.
But yeah, the idea of Diddy Kong Racing, it could have been executed better for sure. But nonetheless, I mean, that's an idea that's just kind of falling out in the drain right now.
Yeah, I mean, they could probably do it and bring it back at some point in time. Because like if I was to think about how you would do a story mode in Mario Kart World, it would be like the Koopalings just doing something and some other big bad showing up at the end, kind of like a taboo thing from Brawl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, 100%.
That type of situation. But all right, Shadow, what about you, man? What you think? Anything you looking forward to summer games wise?
For summer games, no, it's just gonna continue to be the backlog from the stuff we already saw from like Microsoft and whatnot. Like I still gotta go back and play South Midnight. And then there's other stuff that I need to play as well. So well, I gotta get in Street Fighter again. And then Virtual Fighters around the corner. So those things have to happen. And the Killer Instinct Gold Anniversary relaunch, like they're just like, I don't know, they're acting like the game is brand new again. They did the anniversary thing last year. They're acting like the game is brand new again and people are streaming again. So I guess I need to hop back on and play that stuff.
Well, let me ask you this. Can I ask you this? Like, do you think they actually gonna pull that 2013 KI to Switch 2?
They could put it on Switch 1. The original game was the Xbox 360 arcade game.
Yeah, but you know why I say that. But
yeah, technically speaking, it's more licensing than anything else.
Yeah. So because we just got gold on NSO, and if you look at it, it says in big letters Microsoft. In big letters, they say Microsoft. So I'm like, okay.
That may be a thing where that's legacy Microsoft stuff, whether that holds or not going forward, because Microsoft wants to be the biggest third party in the industry now, I guess.
I mean, it makes sense to pivot. It makes sense to pivot.
They appear to be with KI Gold coming across, right? That appears to be a little bit of weakening of the kinks because we knew Microsoft was one of the holdouts. Along with that, and then of course, you have Warner Brothers and a couple other people that were involved for the GoldenEye thing. So once GoldenEye fell through, I started to notice that Microsoft was not being as stingy anymore with some of these properties.
Well,
they were like, if you ask Microsoft, they say go ask Nintendo. And Nintendo's like, no, we're totally fine with it. Yeah. So it was always a thing where it was the third parties involved that were saying, yeah, we want a bigger cut of this if you're going to re-release it on Nintendo's hardware. And Nintendo's like, we haven't changed our policies since.
And we're not going to.
So what do you want us to do?
And we're not going to either.
Yeah.
So there's that. Because especially when you think about it because I wondered if MGM told them to get that GoldenEye money.
That might have been a thing where they needed to do it anyway because they were liquidating and trying to find assets in some way, and that was probably the quickest way for them to do it. Yeah. Honestly, I think at that point because they probably didn't want to give it up. I don't think they had a choice as far as MGM is concerned. And then Microsoft is like, well, sure, yeah. Well, since they caved, then we'll do it too.
We'll just,
we don't want to be the odd man out.
Yeah, because at this point, the Microsoft presentation, I'm wondering if we're gonna see anything from Perfect Dark, and I would not be surprised if they put that Perfect Dark 360 redo that they did Twin Stick It on Switch 2 with Zero. I think Perfect Dark's coming. I think Perfect Dark's coming to Switch 2 because they ain't nowhere in the world. Because I don't think it's gonna make money over there on Xbox. I really don't.
If they're smart, they'll port all of them to Switch and Switch 2.
Yeah.
If they're smart. Like and Microsoft they know where the audience is. They know.
Yeah, they're not stupid.
Nobody on Xbox is checking for Perfect Dark. They know that.
No.
Right? So the question is, how can they do it without getting completely screwed because Nintendo is going to say, I told you so. Basically, because that's what's going to happen, right? So Microsoft's like, yeah, we want to publish on your platform because we kind of like are not making money on our own. Can we publish here? And Nintendo's like, we're not lowering that third-party licensing fee. You know that, right? And that's going to be one of the things. And Microsoft's like, well, we're $1 trillion company. They're like, well, then you more can afford it. So
yeah, that's all they're going to say. Yeah.
So that's kind of where we sit right now, unfortunately. So gamers are stuck in the middle of business decisions between two tycoons, and it's like that would be cool. I will be more than willing to jump on the hate train with all the other with the Alex and whoever else want to hate on Nintendo for clout. I would be more than willing to get on that if Nintendo had changed in the last 2 decades, but they
haven't. Yeah.
Right.
So if this is how they've been the whole time, the only people that are changing and doing stuff for free with third parties, and they're like caving to Sony and Microsoft, giving them whatever. So if that was the case, then because Sony and Microsoft pay for commercials or whatever kind of foolishness, and I'm like, Nintendo's like, you're a publisher, you pay for your commercials, you pay for ads, you pay for placement. Why is that any of my concern? You want to be on my platform, pay the licensing fee. Don't ask for nothing else. We're out. Like that's kind of, and that's how they've been forever, and that's what they don't like, right? And I don't want to make this a different podcast, but that's effectively what the business has become. And I guess third parties, for the most part, have become too accustomed to everybody else catering to them, and Nintendo being other than they were like, well, we can ignore Nintendo because look at Wii U, they're not doing too good, blah blah blah. Then Switch happened, and they're like, oh,
yeah.
In the words of Deadpool 3, fuck.
We got to do our job again. Like I don't know, man. I think that the holdup will be Microsoft with regards to Killer Instinct, for sure. Like you got the Stamper brothers themselves saying, hey, you know what? It would be cool if these games were on Nintendo platforms. You got
because they want all of them on there.
Double Helix wants to publish on Nintendo hardware again. Like they want to leave the whole Amazon stuff or whatever. But all the
ain't always good.
All the pieces are in place, so it's just who's going to be there to do the build and port it to the platform, and not just port it to the platform, make it a viable product that goes gold. So a lot of the time, there's a bunch of stuff on the cutting room floor. Halo DS still exists. That's the thing that was actually shown to press. That's been confirmed multiple times. Like that was the thing. Who's going to publish it though? And if $1 trillion company said no, I mean, obviously no third party is going to go in there and do it. So, it's just one of those things. But I feel like it could definitely be Killer Instinct, NSO and NSO Arcade or whatever you want to call it, whatever, to do the arcade version of that and the 360 version of that, or Xbox One, Series X, whatever you want to call it. The only other thing as far as like summer stuff, I'm trying to think right now if anything caught my eye. It's more just like ports to PC. So
and Elden Ring,
Stellar Blade,
and Elden Ring.
Yeah, Elden Ring DLC, and then Ghost of Tsushima had a bunch of updates still on PC. I don't know if that counts as final release or whatever, but that stuff is there. Other than that, it's pretty much the fall at this point. So the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotai, whatever, that's coming.
Yeah, that's woke. That's that woke game.
Yeah, and I'm kind of wondering, like, if the summer is wide open like that, like what's happening for like Splatoon, Fortnite?
For some reason, I don't think Splatoon's coming out till next year.
I don't think so either.
That's what it's looking like. But I'm like, so if that's the case, y'all shouldn't have had your final event last year for Splatoon 3.
Unless they pushed it back. And that's why they probably just we know stuff change all the time. So they probably thought it was coming out this year. They probably got pushed back. They're like, okay, well, we just take more time. And that's probably why they did it. Because that same thing happened to ARMS. Remember, ARMS was supposed to have it was supposed to still have been having events like a year and a half later, but they cut them.
Now, curiously about that game in particular, no sequel announced. You got Drag and Drive. It's kind of like one of the modes of ARMS, kind of.
Yeah.
Announced
you lose your legs.
Yeah. Announced as the title for this platform. And I'm like, and then on top of that, you have Nintendo confirming, hey, you can play ARMS, and we've updated to be 4K and have the other things, like specifically on Switch 2, if you have, if you buy the updated version or what have you, or if you subscribe to NSO. So I'm like, that's really strange that they mention that. And I'm like, what are they working on? Like, so if that's the case, I got a strange feeling they got some in tow for that franchise as well.
Yeah, 100%.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see something.
That's a summer game too. So like, yeah.
I can't wait to answer this one. I can't wait for this one because I already know what this is. I already know what it is.
I think Liger wanted me to do like a video with him or about. I think we were talking about game key cards or something. But he says, "I have a question. Do you think that the team who's doing the new Baga game said they can't get the game running at 4K 60. Do you think they have enough time, or is clout chasing? It's a little bit of both. So all I heard about it was third hand. My first time hearing about it was I think it was a Spawnwave video talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing: you already have 2 games showing 4K 60 frames per second already natively. So you got Donkey Kong and Metroid Prime 4 showing that, right? So it's not about it's about their engine and their tools and what they have.
Yeah.
Right. So basically what they're trying to do is do the same thing that Sega was doing. Hey, we got this engine. Let's try to shoehorn it and see if it fits on here. If not, then we'll use whatever tools we can to get it a acceptable performance level. Do not believe for 1 second that they developed this game ground up for Switch.
Right.
They obviously did not. If these are some of the concerns that they have.
They
the game is obviously not. I mean, the game is CPU bound in a sense, but it's more GPU bound more than anything else. And Switch 2 has more than enough capabilities with regards to that in comparison to other platforms. So, yeah, Cap is what I would say. And what Dr. Trey said, he said all developers are not the same. Yeah, it's one of those things. This is one of those things. And even with the developers that quote unquote are high caliber or whatever, once they're determined that they're high caliber, they realize that people will just listen to anything that they say. So it's just one of those things. Well, we couldn't get it work because of this, and they're lying through their teeth. Like so, so you just have to like one of those things I liked about that was one of the things I did like about the 6th generation of consoles was the fact that Factor 5 was there. So you couldn't. There was no way you could lie and say, "Well, GameCube can't do this, GameCube can't do that," and I'm like, "Factor 5 did it. But why didn't you? Why couldn't you?" Oh, well, they're right into the middle. Isn't that what you should be doing? Isn't that your job? Yeah. Like, well, we can't afford it. You have a publisher. The publisher should pay for your time for you to do that. Why didn't the publisher pay you for your time? Then it becomes that thing where we get to the root of the problem where, hey, these games cost money and the publisher don't want to pay for what it really costs for this game to be developed the way it should be on that platform. Yeah. And that's the root of it. Effectively, you got to spend time. It's different hardware from the PC target that you were working on, and you got to spend time to make it work. So
I'm curious too, looking at because this is made by Koei Tecmo. They also have Wild Hearts S coming to the Switch. They didn't say anything of the sort with that game in reference to this. So I'm curious. Like, are they just not mentioning it because that game is not set to come out day one, or what? Because when I heard it and I saw it, and you look at what Nobunaga's ambition looks like, it's like, okay,
yeah,
like, like okay. So it is, but it doesn't make any sense to say that, like, to kind of just jump out there and use that as the reasoning why your game doesn't run at 4K 60.
Well, they did the same thing with Wii U, remember? So, like, Orochi Warriors 3 Hyper was notoriously bad on that platform. And, like, their admission was, once you actually read the properly translated Japanese, was, we did not understand how the CPU worked. Not that the CPU was weak. We did not know how to use it and use the heavy branch side of it and then put in the SIMD to get it to work. That's effectively what ended up happening there. And you know what the bread tubers and gaming media wanted to do at that time.
Yep.
Weak CPU. I'm like, all right, cool. That's fine, well and good. But that same system ran Breath of the Wild. So, this is one of those things where
Breath of the Wild doesn't count.
Breath of the Wild doesn't count because look at the low FPS it has in the hardest part of the game. I'm like, the hardest part of the game. Like it's the core for is huge. So I would say your mileage will vary. I mean, same thing Dr. Trey said. I'm going to be more technical than him, but for the best way for me to say it for our followers is like the Switch is capable, but is it capable enough to run an engine with a whole bunch of jank on it that other third parties have for other platforms? That remains to be seen. We don't know. And I will say, prepare for disappointment when it comes to that, especially if a game is targeted at PS5 and Series X and whatnot, because they're not going to try. They're not even going to attempt to rewrite anything for Switch 2. They're like, hey, well, it doesn't run right, or we capped it at 30 frames per second because we couldn't get a acceptable performance. And by acceptable performance, they mean they didn't try. So I would just say that prepare for disappointment on that end. Meanwhile, continue to enjoy 4K 60 games from Nintendo. That much I will say.
Because if anything, it's going to be another Mortal Kombat situation, like another realm where like really, bruh.
Mm-hmm. So, and it's kind of like Nintendo helped them so much because if you wanted to play handheld mode, right, you're getting high FPS because G-Sync is built into the display.
Yeah.
So if you're playing 30, it may feel like 60. So that's one of the other things as well. So I don't know, man. Nintendo is giving so much to studios at this point with regards to what's actually there and available. I don't know what's going on with the SDK. The SDK could be locked down. Who knows? But if you're a big third-party publisher or whatever, you can pay to have some of that stuff go away. Like Capcom did it for original Switch, and they actually increased the RAM for them too. So it depending on what type of studio you are, and you're a quote unquote AAA publisher and developer house, right? There are no excuses.
Yes, there is. It's going to come from the senior software engineer that's going to be anonymous.
Oh yeah, Bob Summerville, who's never developed a Nintendo game ever.
But no, he's anonymous. He's anonymous. Remember that, anonymous.
The web back end for EA was the NBA Live. The NBA Live game that never launched, he was the web front end for that.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to get him on the call. I want to hear what he has to say about that. Like what?
Come on, man. You know that ain't gonna never happen. You know that ain't gonna never happen. Come on, man.
Like what forced you to make that statement? And how do you feel when you were forced to retract it? Like that's...
How did you feel when you thought you was gonna be anonymous and then they found out it was you?
Yeah. Right. Yep.
So the whole point of being anonymous is so nobody contact you.
Man, these folks. So they say these things, right? And then, so press is looking for a way to excuse my background. Everybody's excited right now. Food makes people happy. So if you have people that are already looking for that headline, right? And you're doing this interview knowing they're trying to make said headline, I don't understand why you're surprised about the backlash. Like,
right,
it's going to happen. Press is chomping at the bit, looking for that sound bite. You say the sound bite, then they take it, and then you sit for at least 2 weeks. Then you decide to retract it.
And I think somebody told him to retract it though when they found out it was him. Somebody probably told him to do that.
It's just so odd to me, man. Yeah. So odd to me. And that when I go down that rabbit hole with people on social media, they don't want to talk no more. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You had all these articles lined up talking about how this system was trash. And I go through every one of them and point out all the flaws of every single one of them. You ain't got nothing else? Not a single other thing. Because everything was about the image. You didn't care about what the facts were. You cared about what the image was. And the image was Wii U had a weak CPU. My answer is yes, they did. Because they didn't need it to be strong. And you say, well, I don't understand. Well, look at PS4 and Xbox One. Are you going to tell me those are server-grade CPUs? They didn't want those CPUs. They were waiting on Tegra. But guess what happened? Developers caved, and they did what they wanted. They developed within their means and made games for you. So they could have done the same thing for Wii U. It
just didn't want to.
Yeah, they didn't want to, and they didn't need to. It was one Reddit post I showed. Like one of the developers in there, they just said, like, look, they don't want to, and they're not going to try, and that's the story. Like I was like, whoa, what? I mean, there you go, right there, big red flag. That shows you exactly what's going on behind the scenes. They're not going to try. So, it is what it is. But otherwise, summer's lit. I'm ready. I mean, Switch 2 is going to be part of all of it. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I just can't wait till the PS6 brings in the 11th generation.
Right, because
Jesus.
And I can't wait till Xbox Series Y, Z, and A and B and AA brings in 12th a year later.
Why did the PS5 appear with AI upscaling that didn't work too well in many games?
Because they didn't have, because Shadow, they didn't have Superhand versus Blackula. They
knew what was coming because they had a heads up. They knew what was coming up, but even then, it's like, so the video I still want to do because I want to get a little bit more deeper into it. Now that you mentioned the whole next generation aspect of it, like I really feel like everybody's operating off of like these different ideals of next gen. Like, yes, Nintendo's ushering in the 10th gen, but then you have, of course, our lovely people on Twitter that look at next generation as in like that thing that's pushing gaming forward. I express
graphics don't
which,
push games forward,
and that's problem number one.
Yeah.
But even then, if we're talking about pushing things forward, what is so far the most copied console right now? The Switch.
Switch,
Yeah.
for sure.
It
Heads up,
ushered
yeah.
in this whole PC handheld thing that y'all said is better than the Switch. So
Which ain't.
which I would say is a generational thing. It moved forward because if we're talking about from a gaming standpoint, I don't know what generation we would be on because it would be up to the masses to determine, like, okay, when we jumped into online gaming, I feel like that was a generational leap because now we're playing online, and that's now a standard thing for consoles for you to be able to play online. But you would just genuinely have to sit down and have that conversation. But it will never be, to me, it will never be graphics. Like, yes, we took a step forward graphically, but it didn't do anything per se for the game play.
I would say, like, if you were to think of it like that, then you would have to say from SNES Genesis to what they did, Dreamcast, GameCube 6th Gen would be a generational leap.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but see, the problem with that is that's where it becomes a little murky because 7th and 8th Gen, Nintendo went left when everybody else went right.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, we're going to innovate controls.
Yep.
Everybody else said, we're going to go HD.
Yep.
But the innovation of the controls actually sold more than the HD because people tend to forget this. But in 2006 and 2005, a 32-inch flat panel LCD, not LED, LCD TV was $2,500.
Yep.
People forget that.
Yep.
Like the Wii, the Wii was what it was, but families could afford that. They couldn't afford a $500 console and a $2,500 TV.
Right.
Like something had to give. So
yeah,
you know, it's one of those situations. I mean, the thing is, we didn't got to the point now with graphics is you can't tell. And before anybody say something, I have the perfect proof. PS5 Pro to PS5. Tell me the difference.
No, unless you slow it down, freeze it,
tell the difference.
Zoom in times 5, you're not going to tell the difference.
It's the same thing I kept saying with people talking about 60 frames and 30 frames a second. Oh yeah, I can tell. I can tell with the negative eye. If you can't tell with the negative eye, you stupid. I'm like, no, you can't tell with the negative eye, and I can prove it. Near Automata.
Yeah.
2017. Everybody said Near Automata was 1080p, 60 frames a second. Come to find out that was a lie. It was 900p, 30 frames a second. It didn't get 60 till it came out on Switch. That's when got upgraded.
I'm looking at quote unquote, this is the AI overview right now, but it took until 2015 for 81% of households to have at least one HD TV in the house. And by HD TV, we're not talking about 1080p. We're talking about 720p and higher.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, like, so you can't really say the graphics is what do it, because like, dude, you can't tell the difference now. We're gonna plateau it if that's the case.
I mean, we're already there when it comes down to graphics. Like, yes, I know that is the first thing you all notice when these new systems come out, at least at that point in time. Like, we saw what 360 and PS3 was able to do. We understood that. Even from like a sports gaming standpoint, we got Xbox One. 2K was crazy with the face, like that was nuts. But you know, even with all of that, once again, while that is a part of the movement, I don't think that will define the generation. Now that's the IGN, the GameSpots, that world. They're the ones that keep talking about that because they don't talk about everything else. Because you know, the controller, like you mentioned with the Wii, had that stayed around, that could have been the move. If Connect would have stayed around, that could have been the move. Wii U, if it would have popped off, like the asymmetrical gaming, that would have popped off. Unfortunately, none of those worked, and now we're in this hybrid nature to where now you're hearing rumors of there's a PlayStation 6 hardware, I mean a handheld that's going to be equivalent to the PlayStation 6. It's like, Okay, stop, because now y'all trying to just like dilute what was happening right now.
Yeah.
I mean, even with Xbox talking about making a handheld. So the only thing, like, even from a controller standpoint, the only one that's not on board with everything that's happening is Xbox. Like, they're the only ones that don't have gyro yet. Like, they still haven't gotten into the rechargeable game out of the box. But other than that, everybody's been doing gyro motion. I guess what Sony calls, what does they call their Rumble at this point? That's similar to HD Rumble. I know it's just like haptic feedback, but
I forgot what they call it.
So
I just call it HD Rumble.
Exactly. So, I mean, so now they're both going that route, opposed to just having like the motors rotating in there. So eventually we'll get to the point to where they're all on point. We're looking at the Hall effect sticks, and then now everybody's doing the buttons behind the controller now. That seems to be the next move for, okay, this is where we are with controllers. But yeah, I think Nintendo, if we're talking generations, then we would genuinely have to sit down and look at each point if we're talking about like what changed in gaming. And that's the only way I would say, okay, yes, we can't decide yet if we're into the next generation. But if we're talking about 10th generation as far as consoles concerned, yes, this Nintendo kicked it off. But it's one of those, if you want to go the other route of the generation of gaming, that's a lot of homework that we all have to sit down and do and see what that looks like.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's pretty much what it is. So, all right, I think we're gonna call it for this week. At this point, just a heads up, next Sunday, the podcast will be at 1:00 because we're just gonna do the live reaction of the Microsoft presentation and the Outer Worlds presentation follow-up. So it's not going to be anything at 8. At 7. It's just going to be 1:00. And everything. So just keep that in mind. And Friday, we will be here at probably going to start around 4:45. Just to be on the safe side, we'll probably be at 4:45 for the live reaction for Summer Games opening night. We do have some guests coming through, so just to let y'all know. All right, Jack, anything you want to pimp out?
Yeah, so like I said, on midnight launch, me and the kids are going to be going to pick up everything that I've already pre-ordered. We're going to do pre-recordings of the games in themselves. I might do a little off-camera work in regards to unboxing and everything else, but I mean, our main focus is enjoying it for the night. You know what I mean? So whenever the videos do go up, they go up. But honestly, it's more about our enjoyment, and then me recording it is just secondary. But I'll try to get the videos up. If not, this upcoming weekend, then it'll definitely happen that following week. So I'll just end up using my wife's laptop to use my capture card, because like I said, my Elgato does not work with my Mac. So instead of buying a new one, that one works perfectly fine. It's just the M1 compatibility is weird. So I'll just use a standard laptop, just record it right there on OBS, and then just kind of do like a voiceover for what it is that I'm showcasing on those pre-recorded videos, and give everybody an idea of what things look like and how they run. So just to kind of give a quick rundown of the games, I will be recording Mario Kart World for sure. Welcome Tour. We actually just got a I don't know where it was. I saw it on Twitter, but we actually got like a rundown of what Welcome Tour will have. So that's pretty interesting to see. Like, it's going to be 20 mini games, but there's different variations of each of those mini games. So it seems like it's going to be something that's pretty fully fleshed out. Hogwarts Legacy, we're going to be doing that one. I'm still back and forth on Street Fighter. I'm not certain quite yet. Fast Fusion for sure. And then as far as anything else, those are going to be a little bit later down the line. But we'll try to do Konetsugami as well as Cyberpunk. So those will be like some quick looks at those games and see how they run. And I may pop in Xenoblade Chronicles X just to see if it's one of those like I popped it in and it works situation. And it's not like an update that needs to come from Monolith to unlock that 60. But I'll definitely try that out. And there may be a few games I might take some requests just to see like, okay, try this, and if I have it, then I'll have it. I'm not gonna go out my way and purchase something just to test it out for people. I'm not. You can send me the money to do it, but I'm not. I'm not gonna do it on my own dime. But yeah, if I got it, I'll try it. But if not, then there's plenty of content creators that'll probably go out their way to purchase everything and try them out for you.
Whew, that's gonna be a lot of money. All right, Shadow, what about you, man?
Channel dead, channel's live. Kind of half did a live stream last night with Sandstorm. Ran into some personal issues I had to take care of real quick, so I had to end that shortly, unfortunately. But hopefully you guys jumped over and watched the rest of the show, because I ended up watching the rest of it. It was pretty well done. I will say this. I will definitely be probably the person that would test Xenoblade Chronicles X on Switch 2. The only thing is I don't know when I'm going to get my Switch 2. So I'm juggling between 2 different pre-orders right now to figure out which one I'm going to get first. And once I get that, I'll try to upload some content here and there. I owe you guys a video anyway, which is probably going to be the gold bespoken voice over video, talking about certain things, like all the rumors that have been leading up to this platform, what the truth is and what the lies are. Mm-hmm. So I want to do one of those. I got massive feedback on my channel and elsewhere on social media saying, hey, please do something, because people are really in the weeds and not knowing what's going on here, because they're listening to the people that are basically flame baiting for clout.
Yeah.
So I will bring my channel live for that, and we'll go from there. Like, just little things like when I did the USB 2.0 video for Wii U, Xbox One, and PS4 at the time. Like, people need to know like very certain things just as a user, so you know what you're looking forward to, and I'll provide that for you guys as soon as I can. But other than that, that's pretty much all I got for now. Shadowcast always random, by the way. Just random. Stay on the YouTube channel. Look at the post, and whenever I post, just hop on there, because you never know.
Yep, true. Like I said earlier, I will be posting some gameplay of I can't remember how many minutes I did, but it's either gonna be the first 30 minutes or the first hour of Doom Dark Ages, and I'll post some the boss battles, at least the first boss battle vid that I'm gonna start doing for the boss battles videos. Other than that, like I said, we will be here Friday and Sunday, and we'll see you guys then. Okay. To everybody that's going Thursday, you're going to midnight, please, 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 please be safe, be careful, don't be stupid.
Mm-hmm. Don't go alone.
Do not go by yourself, and do not park away from the building so far that can't nobody see nothing. Don't do that, man, because y'all know how it is out here. And some people don't have any qualms about doing nefarious stuff. So just be careful out there if you're going, and take care of yourself. Look out for each other and all that good stuff. So we'll see you guys we'll see you guys Friday, and then we'll see you guys Sunday. So peace out, people. Have a good one, and we'll see you guys then.
Peace.
Later.